Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, Butterfly Spirit 314. So today guys, what I want to do is I want to talk about how my heater contributed to me having dry skin. And I want to talk about this because this is not something that I thought was going to happen to me. And I want to share how the same thing can happen to you if you're like me and you easily get cold and you find that you notice that your skin was more moisturized before you turned on the heater versus 30 minutes or, you know, an hour or more of having on the heater, how your skin is dry. So I'm going to share my little experience because I think that some of us out there are doing the same thing and there's maybe some changes we can do so that we don't get the dry skin that we end up having. So I started working from home a year and a half ago. I started working from home because of COVID. And with working from home, I found that in the spare bedroom that we have in our house, that in that room, it's really, really cold in the morning, really, really cold. So because it's really cold, I had my little space heater. Um, and what I did is, what I do is turn it on in the morning to warm up that room. So by the time it's time for me to start my shift, the room is nice and toasty, and I can, work comfortably in a nice warm room. So, you know, one thing I found is repeatedly every day I do the same thing. Before work, turn on here, warm up the room. When it's time for work, start working and things. And what I didn't know is that I didn't know that I was starting to get dry skin from continually sitting next to the heater. So I had this tiny little fan forced heater, and it takes some time for it to warm up a room, but it can get toasty if need be. So one thing I noticed during my work day is I noticed that in the morning my skin would be really moisturized. It would be fine, and I sit with the heater on for hours. And what I noticed at the end of my work day is I noticed that my skin was dry. And it wasn't just that I didn't scratch because I my skin was becoming more and more dry. It wasn't that. It was just that day after day after day, I started to notice that my skin was becoming less and less and less moisturized. Over the 8 hour workday. At first it might take 8 hours before my skin gets dry. Okay. The next day, it might take less time. Like over the course of me working from home, like my dry skin just got worse and worse to the point that like I could have the heater on for like 30 minutes and my skin would get dry and I start scratching, you know. And with me scratching, I would just scratch to scratch, okay? I really deeply scratch. I don't care if it's on my back, my arms, my legs, or whatever. I would scratch. I think my back got the worst scratches ever because it itched really bad. And so, I, didn't know that I had any type of skin problem at all with having the heater on. I had the heater on in the past and I never thought anything about, my skin itching. When I was at work and I was, working, I never found that, the little heater under the desk being on caused my skin to be dry or anything. Never did. So, I thought I could, turn the little heater on that I had at home and, that would be fine. I thought that would be okay. But as it turns out, my skin became more and more and more dry. So, of course, I thought, hey, what I can do if my skin's dry, I can just go on some lotion, and this lotion is going to take care of the itch. Well, the lotion didn't take care of it like I wanted it to. It didn't moisturize my skin like I needed it to be. So, I just decided, what, maybe this condition will eventually, clear itself up and stuff with like me taking showers and stuff like that, and maybe that'll fix it. That's what I thought would happen. I thought that, using lotion, showering a lot more than I usually did would actually help. But actually, there are other things that contributed to my skin getting dry, such as the shower contributed to it, air conditioner contributed to it. You know, the way I was drying off was contributing to it, lotions and, you know, the, temperature, from hot to cold would contribute to it. There's a lot of things that I was doing that I didn't know that I was, um, that were causing my dry skin, like the heater, for example. I didn't know that was contributing. Now, in addition to, using the heater, I also use my, furnace and stuff like that to warm up the house. And I guess that to a degree contributed to my skin becoming dehydrated because, you know, constantly having the heat on also, drained my skin of those liquids. So with heater furnace combination, that made my skin really, really, really dry. And of course, since the room was really cold in the mornings, I didn't just want to put on a blanket all the time because the blanket can be itchy as well. So I didn't want to have to deal with that. So, you guys may be asking, what did I do to, you know, what did I do to stop the heater from bothering me so much? I do use the heater. I do not use the heater nearly as much. So one of the things I did when I was working is I started turning the heater off in different intervals. So I'd have it on for about 10 minutes and then turn it off, and then when I got cold again, I turn it on. I tried to lessen the amount of time I was around the heater. Right now, since I'm not working, what I do is that, I use the heater when I'm sitting at the dinner table to kind of keep my feet warm and my legs warm. And so, if I use the heater, one of the things I do is I'll use the heater for about maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and if I feel that my skin is getting dry, I will turn that thing off. Okay, I will definitely turn it off. And just make sure I don't overdo it with the heater. Just not sit there with it on for 8 hours. I'm not gonna, do that anymore. I try to use it sparingly as I can. And the good thing is my skin does get a break from me using the heater. It actually does for hours of the day, and I feel that that's kind of helped me with dealing with it. I can understand for some of you out there if you have to use the heater in your house because you may not have heat or electricity or whatever, and you feel like you have to use it. I mean, if you don't have electricity but you have like a generator or something, of course you'd use it, but you want to make sure that that air from that heater is not drying out your skin because that's dry air that's being used, and the moisture from your skin is going into it, and if you're not using lotion, then of course your skin's going to dry out really quickly. What I want you guys to know is if you're using a heater, that's okay. It's fine if you're using a heater, no matter what you have to use it for, if you have to use it to keep warm, use it to keep warm, but also use other methods like a blanket or like a regular blanket like what's behind me or a heated blanket. Use other things to try to keep yourself warm, um, so that you don't dry out your skin. That's one of the things you do want to do is make sure that you don't dry it out just with that heater. Um, One thing I would suggest if you're using a heater is to use a humidifier. So humidifiers I know can be expensive, but if you get a humidifier and you have that device on, what it can do is add moisture to the air. I know that there are um, warm humidifiers and cold humidifiers. I like the cold humidifier because I like the cold humidifier because the cold humidifier is not going to heat up the temperature of the room. You guys may be like, well, don't you like a warm room? Of course I do, but I don't want it to get really, 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 really hot and wet in the room. Okay, so I don't want to do that. The warm heaters are such where like if you have like windows, you'll have condensation on the inside of your windows in your house if you use the warm humidifier. If you are okay with that and it doesn't bother your skin, by all means, definitely use that. But I prefer a cool heater where it doesn't leave condensation on my windows or anything like that, and it just keeps it, the air is having moisture added to it, but it just doesn't have that steamy feeling in the room. So um, it makes it a little bit more comfortable as opposed to having a warm heater. If warm heater works for you, go for it, buy it. If a cool one works for you, like it does for me, go for it. I'd also suggest that if you have an air conditioner running when you're sleeping, have that humidifier in there so the moisture can be added to the air, because the air conditioner is also dry air, and that can also impact your skin and make it dry as well. But I will go into more detail about the air conditioner and let you guys know how that's impacted my skin. Um, I noticed that my skin is less, it's not nearly as dry as it was when I was using the heater for hours on end. I know you guys out there like me can be cold easy. I know it, but you have to take time to get away from that heater. Take time to do it so that your skin doesn't get so dry. Like I was saying before, have it on for 5 or 10 minutes, then turn it off. Or if you want to have the heater on in the room to warm it up, turn it on for that time and then turn it off. But I understand you guys struggle if the room that you happen to be in most of the time is really, really, really cold. So I totally get it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope this video has helped. This video is a part of my dry skin video series. It's just a series of videos where I tell you guys how one thing or another has contributed to me having dry skin. This one was about the heater. I'm going to do one about the air conditioner. What I will say is the heater is quick to dry out your skin. So, 30 minutes to an hour or so, you'll notice your skin's dry, or it could take a little longer. Air conditioner, it takes a longer amount of time, but I will get into that later on. Just remember that a heater, if it's a little space heater, fan force heater, whatever type of heater, can dry your skin out. Okay, so I just want to let you guys know that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.